Is that Dark World making a splash out here? Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. Dark World. So that was the reason that caught my attention out of this regional was, man, oh man, you wanted some Dark World innovations. Well, there had to be somebody out here that had to be cooking with Dark World after, you know, the dangers kind of shifted around during that last ban list shift. And, you know, I'm happy to actually see that the deck managed to make top 4 in this regional, which is actually really, really good to see. Now, what's very, very, very interesting to me about this event was there's a lot of Yubel. Like, a lot of Yubel. Yubel had 3 representatives in the top cut, making this the most represented deck. You know, it wasn't Ryzeal, it wasn't, you know, Maliss. No, it was actually the power of Yubel. Now, Ryzeal did winning this event. Yeah, the one Ryzeal player in top 8 decided to smash through the event, but, you know, the decks around it were not necessarily that different than what we were kind of expecting. We also had some power of Maliss stepping on up to bat out here. I'm not surprised to see that either. Maliss has always remained one of those decks that just explodes and goes. All right, it came out with Ryzeal, and it's doing a fantastic job at doing BS things. Goblin Bikers. You know, I feel like when you look at some of these regionals that are from these offshoot places, you get the chance to kind of see how well this can perform. Now, Goblin Bikers definitely have had a good, successful track record out here as of late. Especially, you know, since Ryzeal kind of came into the meta, it's been doing very well. And we also have a Ritual Beast challenger stepping into the arena for you as well. You know, we've seen a lot of Ritual Beast as of late. And I genuinely am pretty impressed with how that deck has managed to do as well as it has. But, you know, I guess the story as old as time now is Protos is a stupidly ignorant card. And as long as you can find a way to lock your opponent's key attribute, well, congratulations, you managed to win the duel. Let's pass on over to deck list. The first list we're going to be looking at here is actually our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Fiendsmith package built into Ryzeal. As we have seen, this is going to be your mainstay challenger for the next couple of months. The way that this deck functions is pretty absurd, actually. You know, you're able just to do all the one combo line eats up the hand traps, you smash on through, and you continue to play the game on the secondary engine. And, you know, it does really well. I see we are playing 1 tag talents in the main. They opted to only play 1 copy of Tracked. That's kind of insane. I swear most builds have needed multiples of this to try to make this deck feel a little bit more consistent. I also see we have the crossouts down here as well in case we need them depending on the matchup. We also have the thrust to toggle on into the dimensional barrier. I'm surprised they're not playing a copy of Sanctum to try to roll on through their opponent. But this build also chose to main deck the Plasma Hole, which is kind of interesting, to say the least. So yeah, this build looks pretty ignorantly stupid. I gotta tell you that. But that's the power of what you're getting with this deck. Ooh, we also have Yubel and Friends. And, I mean, the friend is the Fiendsmith package, right? So this build managed to roll itself on up to the 45 card mark, which is fine, all right? Larger amounts of deck building room is going to be fine. We're playing 2 copies of Tracked, kind of fill up space. We are also only doing 1 Nightmare Pain. I know a lot of people initially were like, hey, you know, this deck's going to go towards more copies of Nightmare Pain, you know, after the shifts. No, doesn't need it. You have Dark Beckoning Beast and Opening the Spirit Gates. Like, this package alone is just the way your deck chooses to play. Like, if you get through all the lines, you should be able to get to places. We've also definitely shifted to Escape of the Unchained now, instead of the Monster Reborn. And this card just feels way better than some of the other options that we were kind of being given versus the other things. But, you know, we have a couple more Yubel list for you here, so you're going to get a chance to see, you know, some more of the ideas of how this deck is structuring. I mean, your first one, 45 cards is okay. Oh, okay, never mind. We just got another 45 card variation here. So I'm assuming that a lot of this is probably going to come down to the same teams kind of innovating out here, trying to find the room for things that they want. This build did opt to actually play crossouts in the main deck, which, I mean, this card's pretty stupid. But you've noticed that a lot of the TCG builds just don't even really try to pressure this at 3, because I think the TCG mentality is Called by the Grave kind of feels like a 3rd copy of crossout in certain matchups, which is fine. We're also only playing 1 copy of Grave Squirmer. This hasn't really changed. Still playing 1 copy of this. I also see that we are side decking the Book of Eclipses. You need that pressure to put on your opponent, especially in the Ryzeal matchup, being able to flip down their garbage and not allow it to really do anything to you. As long as you can clear it off or, and do what you need to do, you're probably going to win the game. One Phantom didn't even matter anyway. Yeah, I mean, this deck was destined to do still really okay here. All right, woo, we have our Dark World pile. So yes, we are playing one copy of the Salamander Catalyzer because this card is very good. In terms of our danger package, I mean, 2 Jackalope, 2 Tsuchinoko. Yes, we do get to extend this out now, which was a little bit of a help to kind of putting this build back on the map. Still playing 2 copies of Dark Corridor. As much as we still might like this card and still think that we want to play 3, the danger cards just feel a little bit better. You know what I mean? 2 copies of Silver to hand rip away from your opponent. Extra deck options down. Oh, actually, side deck. I see we're playing the 1 copy of Biche. Hey, buddy, how are you? I'm glad to still see that you've found a place out here, even in the year 2024. We are also side decking Gozen Match. I also love the fact we are playing the skill drain built into the main. Side problem is this deck's existence gets checked by Droll and Lockbird, especially if you activate Upstart Goblin and then your opponent drolls you. You're just like, oh, that's a really sad day, but it actually happens. Not really much you can do. All right, moving on along here. We have our Striker Maliss pile, and I gotta love the TCG adapting the Striker package yet again into another deck. We had this back in the day with Orcust out here, where, you're using the Link Play package kind of do its thing, and then, you're using the Widow Anchor to disrupt your opponent. Striker stuff's here to get you into the extra key lines of play, set up some spells, get some free draw power. Yes, we are main decking Shifter. No, there is no real confliction between these two. If it happens, I mean, you just get into the Widow Anchor and call it a day. All right, congratulations. You got to the piece you needed. Also, the Hornet Drones is here to get 2 bodies on the field so that you can get things going. All right, it's just a free link climbing package that needs to see some play. You've also got the Book of Eclipses built into the main deck to disrupt the opponent. 45 cards, I think, is fine for a variant like this. The Striker package, I think, is pretty good for what you want to be seeing. Also, being able to negate a Dreadnader is pretty good. Ooh, we have our Goblin Biker special for you here. So, first thing I see down here in the side deck is we are playing 2 copies of Dimensional Fissure, and I like this a lot. This puts some stupid pressure on your opponent, man. If your opponent cannot find an out for this, it's going to be an issue. Now, obviously, if you're playing against Maliss, you're never going to want to see this card in your main deck because you just literally bought yourself an absolute GG game over at the end of it. So, see, we're doing 1 copy of the Goblin Biker Grand Pile up in here. 1 copy of the Boom Mock. That doesn't really change. Goblin Biker's Gone Wild, I think, was the best support card we could have gotten. It's just, in terms of the way that this deck plays, it still has issues, in my opinion. Obviously, it's going to depend on how much your opponent hand traps you. But, Terror Top into the tour guide, still going to be very, very stupid. Rank 3 decks having play yet again. Pretty good. Also, the Exceed Armor Torpedo line up gets some free disruptions. All right. Ooh, we got more Yubel action for you. This one was feeling dangerous today. We went to 46 cards. Now we're doing the double tracked in here. I think double tracked is probably where you want to be. Because sometimes, you're just going to have to do the fusion summon to make the area leader just to kind of continue on. Or maybe depending on how your hand is structured, making the Necro equip to get a free draw. It does happen, actually. You might not think that it's one of those really interesting things, but I mean, having to make the area leader just to continue to play does happen. We are playing 2 Phantasmes in here for the Maliss matchup. You do see the anti-Dreadnader support yet again, 6 frickin' cards to bring on in to blow that up. But this build also chose to play the Monster Reborn Trap instead of the Pop. I still think that the Pop is extremely good. If you're looking away from that, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. I mean, it's a 2-to-1 ratio in this top cut for that Unchained Trap, and the other 2 placed better than this build playing this. All right. And then our last list here is our Ritual Beast engine. Yes, good old Protos me. We are doing 1 copy of these steeds in here, which is fine. I also see we've gone so far down the anti-fun route down here that we're packing in there can only be 1 to disrupt the opponent. That's frickin' disgusting, actually. Auto flipping this is just free real estate. We're also playing the anti-scam fragrance down here, so we can steal victory away from our opponent. We also have the third Book of Eclipse in here, meaning 2 siding 1. I think is fine. Also having access to the dimensional fissures to kind of just have a hard activation in case you want to have 5 forms of interruption depending on how things go. But so this looks very, very nice. I actually like this a lot. So what do you guys think about the breakdown for this regional? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.